Welcome back to week 5 of my sports betting videos. As always, starting off with a recap of last week. Last week I bet on the MLB games. Overall I went 9 for 13 and made a profit of $35K, so not too bad. My biggest win was the Red Sox over the Seattle Mariners. I made $19.1K profit in that bet. My biggest loss was Miami ended up beating Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was the negative 256 favorite and ended up losing. I was on the wrong side of that upset. But still made profit, so I can't complain. The magic number now, I forgot to mention this last week, but now the magic number is 415.1K. Don't want to drop below that. Today I'm betting on more MLB games. I'm betting on the MLB games today. And I usually start with a Yankees bet, but the Yankees have a doubleheader with the Angels. So, for the first pick, I am taking the Arizona Diamondbacks over the Cleveland Guardians. Brandon Pfaadt and Carlos Carrasco is the starting pitching matchup, and this should be an interesting matchup. However, Pfaadt has been more consistent in his last starts, just as far as preventing runs. Carrasco has given up 6 runs twice in his last 5. Once to the Phillies, which is a very efficient offense, but 6 runs is still not an outing you want to have. And another time to the Tigers. The Tigers are not efficient offensively. That giving up 6 runs to the Tigers is a bad sign. So I'm giving Brandon Pfaadt the edge in the starting pitching matchup. On top of that, the Diamondbacks offense has a higher batting average, on-base percentage, and scores more runs. So give them an edge on the starting pitch-up, and offensively, I'm taking the Diamondbacks over the Guardians. Next, I'm taking the Detroit Tigers over the Seattle Mariners. Now, you could say this is a bit of a biased bet. As a Tigers fan, the Mariners are favored to win this one. However, Tarik Skubal is on the mound for the Tigers. That's no disrespect to George Kirby, who's pitching for the Mariners. George Kirby is 10th in the MLB for ERA. He has a 3.04 ERA. He's been very impressive. He is also in the talk for Cy Young Awards. But Tarik Skubal, he's the man right now. He's the favorite to win the Cy Young Award, and he's been lights out all year. He came off a rough outing against the Royals. He usually struggles a bit against the Royals, though. Expect a bounce-back game. And overall, expect this game to be very low-scoring, a pitcher's matchup. Both teams are out some of their most consistent hitters. The Tigers are down. Riley Green is out of the lineup, and the Seattle Mariners are missing Julio Rodriguez. With that being said, even though neither offenses are productive, the Tigers have the slight edge offensively. Some offensive stats for the Mariners. They are 27th in the MLB in runs scored, 29th in batting average, and 26th in on-base percentage. The Detroit Tigers hold an advantage in every offensive stat except on-base percentage and home runs. So I'm giving the Tigers the slight edge in the starting pitching matchup, and once the starting pitchers get out of the game, I think the Tigers can pull away just with slightly more efficient hitting, taking the Tigers over the Mariners. Next, I'm taking the Minnesota Twins over the Chicago Cubs. The pitching matchup in this one is very close too. It should be a competitive matchup. It's Jack Ryan and Javier Assad. They will both give up a couple runs. They aren't lights out pitchers, but it should be competitive. However, Jack Ryan, I'm giving him the slight edge. He has been pitching deeper into games than Javier Assad. Javier Assad has pitched under 5 innings in 4 of his last 5 starts, so it could be a bullpen-heavy day for the Cubs. On top of that, the Twins have much more productivity on offense, so I'm taking the Twins over the Cubs. Next, I'm taking the Milwaukee Brewers to beat the Atlanta Braves. Last time Freddie Peralta and Chris Sale matched up, both pitchers gave up 2 runs, and both pitched into the 6th inning. The Braves ended up winning 6-2. But The Brewers are hot and the Braves are not. That's the simplest way to put it. Runs in the last 5, the Brewers have 22 and the Braves have only scored 8. Even if you take out the Brewers' 10-run game, the Brewers are still outscoring the Braves 12 runs to 8 runs, and that's in 4 games compared to the Braves' 5. Expect a great starting pitching matchup. This will be a great pitching game, a low-scoring game, but the Brewers can pull away for the win once Chris Sale is out of the game. Next, I'm taking the Royals over the Red Sox. Even though the Red Sox have the edge offensively, statistically speaking, the Royals have been on fire. The Royals have scored 27 runs in their last 5 games. Unfortunately, they've given up 9 and 6 runs to the Red Sox to fall behind in this particular series, 0-2. However, Cole Ragans is pitching, so don't expect the Red Sox to hit that well. On the other hand, expect even more offense from KC. Cutter Crawford has given up 16 runs in his last 3 starts. So I'm taking the Royals over the Red Sox. The bats are going to stay hot, and they've got the edge in the starting pitching matchup. Next, I'm taking the New York Mets to beat the Colorado Rockies. Paul Blackburn has been consistent, but just came off he's been inconsistent, but he just came off a spectacular start. 6 innings pitched, 1 run, only 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Ryan Feltner has been pitching really well, and in his last 5, he's pitched 29.2 innings and given up 13 runs. But he's given up 5 home runs in his last 3 starts. The Mets are 5th in the MLB in home runs. So if Ryan Feltner doesn't make a change, he's going to get more home runs hit off of him by the Mets for sure. The Rockies are last in ERA, and their pitching only gets worse once Feltner is out of the game. So with the Mets' home run power and their advantage in pitching, I'm taking the Mets. And last but not least, another exciting matchup between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm taking the Phillies in this one. Offenses are both amazing and closely matched, with a slight edge towards Los Angeles right now. However, Tyler Phillips is coming off a nightmare outing against Seattle. He gave up 8 runs in 1.2 innings pitched. That's very uncharacteristic for Tyler. If you look at his stats in the last 4 games prior, he pitched 25 innings, gave up only 5 runs, 17 hits, 3 home runs, 2 walks, and 19 strikeouts. Meanwhile, Gavin Stone has given up at least 4 runs in 4 out of his last 5 games. In a matchup where the offenses are both so good but so close, that starting pitching could make the difference in this game. I'm taking the Phillies over the Dodgers. And that's all for this week. Thanks for listening and good luck.